Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good weekend and welcome back to Warhammer 40,000 Chaos Bait Chaos Bait? You wouldn't believe I do this for a living, would you? Warhammer 40,000 Chaos Gate Daemonhunters, where we have some good news and we have some bad news. The bad news is absolutely everybody is injured. In fact, Interceptor Storm is so badly injured I couldn't even bring him on this mission. The good news, Apothecary Hahn is back. Although he's been gone so long, everybody else has out-leveled him.
Corruption site detected. The Bloom Spawn have infested this bastion of the Adeptus Ministorum.
Vile blasphemy. The Plague Lord continues to taunt us with his detestable works. We must end it here.
The other good news is that the glorious deed on this mission is entirely doable. Kill 8 enemies with ranged weapons for a bonus 2 requisition points upon successful mission completion. And also, Inquisitor Waifu has completed the research that she needed in order to equip my Marines with Extractor Servo Skulls. And honestly, it's going to be far easier to just show you what they do rather than tell you. The only downside to the Extractor Servo Skulls is unless you've unlocked additional war gear slots for your Marines, which I have on Purgator Fool, my heavy weapon specialist, then the Extractor Servo Skull replaces their grenade slot. But Purgator Fool has grenades to spare for everybody. This mission looks like it's going to be quite busy. Multiple patrols, well at the moment just the one detected, and 2 bloom spawns which need to be eliminated. We're going to go for the patrol first. It just seems safer that way. The patrol wanders around, the bloom spawn does not. And here they come. Pair of Plague Marines. One of them, Toxin Sprayer. Blooms rising by 25% per turn on this planet. Seems like an odd number. I can't remember what the corruption level is on this planet. Oh, hang on, one of those is a seed carrier. Okay, let's demonstrate the use of the Extractor Servo Skull. Iolanthus, move up to within 15 squares of the seed carrier. Target him with the Extractor Servo Skull and send it off to retrieve the Poxus seed and bring it back to you, all without spending any action points. This should hopefully mean I'm never going to have to worry about running out of Poxus seeds again. In the meantime, I still have to deal with this patrol. Iolanthus can't do anything else from here other than set up a zone of overwatch. Apothecary Hahn. Where can I move him to that has good cover? That'll do. Nice to have you back, brother. I'm going to drop a frag grenade between the two of them. This will have the bonus effect, not just of stripping all of their armour off, but it will knock the heavy weapon Marine further to the rear and get him out of immediate shooting range. Next, Justicar Balls. Don't really have any particularly good options with him. Move him to there and you'll have 1 action point left. Oh, there's a Poxus seed line there just waiting to be picked up. Okay, we'll worry about that later. Yeah, I don't want to have him standing exposed just in order to get 1 shot off that isn't going to kill anybody. Yeah, Overwatch it is. And that leaves Purgator Fool, who unfortunately is just a little bit too far back to do anything useful. We'll move him up and put him into cover. And, well, we can set up Overwatch here as well, in case any of them try to rush Iolanthus, and now it's their turn. There was a patch to the game recently which corrected some of the behaviour of, well, Chaos Marines with plague spreaders like that. They will no longer waste the weapon in exactly the way that that guy just did. Second Marine runs into Overwatch, stops and returns fire, but Iolanthus' armour takes it, and Iolanthus actually gets a reaction off and shoots him again. So that's nice. He now stays where he is and he covers Iolanthus with Overwatch. The bloom rises to 50%. My turn. Iolanthus is covered by Overwatch, but again this isn't a problem. The Plague Marine who has him covered is not going to be difficult to kill. Then balls in, smack him upside the face with the Demon Hammer, which doesn't kill him, but it does stun him. That means I can do an execute. And there it is. So now he's dead, and everybody's a bonus action point. Which means the Chaos Marine with the Plague Spreader is in all kinds of shit. And since Iolanthus doesn't actually raise the warp meter every time he spends willpower, we're going to use his bonus action point to use the Hammer Hand ability, which gives us plus 100% crit chance, and give this guy a damn good stabbing with the Force Halberd as well. What can balls do with one action point? Well, you can shoot him. May as well. He is now stunned, which means if I can get a Marine up to him and within melee range, we can execute him as well. And everybody now has one bonus action point, which means Apothecary Harn can actually get close enough to engage him in melee, which wouldn't ordinarily kill him, but because he's stunned, we get the option to execute him. So that's nice. And one patrol is down. I'm sure there are going to be more patrols here. Oh, let's not forget the Poxus seed that was just lying there waiting to be picked up. So that's 2 seeds that we've recovered from this mission. I needed 5 to do the Source of the Bloom research. And I think I started this mission with 3, so I'm already there. And there's almost certainly more seeds waiting to be harvested on this mission, so I shouldn't have any issues with not having enough Poxus seeds to do the research that I need from here on in. In fact, I'm not actually doing any research at the moment. Inquisitor Waifu's just cooling her heels on board the Baleful Edict, waiting for me to come back with the 5 Poxus seeds that I need to do the Source of the Bloom research. Because I don't want her to be busy doing something else when I finally get enough seeds to start that research. Second patrol spotted. Moving them up from the back. So I need to be careful I don't get the squad split up here, so I don't want to move these guys too far forward. Fortunately, there's no countdown timer on this mission, so I'm able to wait out the warp surge while ensuring that the boys all stay together so that they're nice and tightly packed and able to support each other when I initiate combat with this patrol. That's the good news. The bad news is the patrol was right next to one of the bloom spawns, which means that a Chaos Gate has just opened up. Reinforcements will be arriving, and I now have to fight the patrol, and there is a seed carrier back there as well. But I now have to fight the patrol with the bloom spawn active and reinforcements coming through that warp gate. So, well, the first thing I'm going to do, because it doesn't actually cost me anything, is harvest that Poxus seed from the seed carrier hiding behind the column at the back. I'm not quite sure what's going on here. It looks like it should be in range. It should be working. Let's see if Apothecary... Oh, he doesn't have an extractor still. Well, we'll move him over here. What can we do with the grenade? Ooh, that's actually really, really nice. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. Fire in the hole. Yeah, they didn't like that much, did they? He still has 1 action point. And yeah, we can kill him. And he's in good cover for any return fire. I don't believe that Overwatch actually covers anybody. No, it doesn't, although I don't want to walk through it for obvious reasons. So what can I do with Iolanthus here that would be useful? See, heading over there is going to walk him through the Overwatch, and I obviously don't want to do that. I could move him to there, he would only have the 1 action point left. What about this side? 1 action point there as well, but it is good cover. The thing is, I think those rocks over there are blocking his line of sight to any of those injured cultists, so Purgator Fool. I have to admit, I'm not totally in love with Purgator Fool's weapon, the side cannon. I'm going to send the Extractor Skull out to grab that Poxus seed before the cultist dies. The thing about the side cannon is it doesn't have great range, and until I get some promotions under Purgator Fool's belt, it only has 2 shots per turn, and he has 3 action points, which means all he can do every turn is move, shoot, shoot, and then at the beginning of his next turn, he has to waste an action point reloading. It does do nice area of effect, but only really at the point of aim. So, I think... well, there is another weapon that he could be... There are several other weapons that he could be using. There's one called the Silencer that has much better range. And a short-ranged AoE that is potentially devastating. But at the moment I'm still stuck with a side cannon. So we're going to set up some Overwatch from here. Now back to Iolanthus. I mean, I can move him over here and he's in good cover, but he doesn't actually have a line of sight to any of those injured cultists. So, he is going to honour the chapter on Justicar Boars. This gives him 2 extra action points. And I can plan his movement to over here. And then smack that guy in the face with the Demon Hammer. And that should be a kill. And it is. And he still has 2 action points remaining, which means he can also clean that guy up. Although, yeah, we could just shoot him. There's no reason to actually walk into the Overwatch. Right. 1 action point remaining. It's at this point where I really wish he had a grenade rather than the Extractor Servo Skull. So we're just going to go ahead and pop his Aegis Shield, because he's almost certainly going to attract everybody's attention. He now has 5 armor points, which should be enough to help him weather the storm. Let's not forget the Chaos Gate that's opening up. So we're going to move Iolanthus into a position where he can hopefully do something about that. Now, the Plague Priest, what is he up to? Oh, that is really bad. He's channeling a Warp Surge, which means if I do not kill him in my next turn, the warp meter will rise to 100%. Okay, that's also not great. Everybody that Justicar Boars just killed now comes back to life as a lesser poxwalker. He gets shot, taking 4 points of damage, but he had 5 points of armor, so that's fine. That looks like a particularly sloppy Overwatch. I don't think I really have too much to worry about over there. And something's going on with the bloom spawn. I don't know what it's doing, but I'll bet I'm not going to like it. Okay, this guy is burning. And he's pinned, Fool, and Harm, which reduces their action points by 1, and then he's hit them with a time bomb. Ooh, those are really nasty reinforcements. A couple of Poxwalkers, and a Plague Marine. And now the bloom rises to 30%. Okay, so this is going to be kind of tricky. Iolanthus can easily kill these guys in melee, but I don't really want to have him end his turn standing in front of the Plague Marine. Unfortunately, he's in such good cover that he can't actually see them to shoot them, so he's going to have to go out and kill them in melee. It's easily done with a Force Halberd. On the bright side, these successful kills mean he's going to recover the willpower that he just used to buff Justicar Boars. But with 1 action point remaining, he can't actually reach that Plague Marine and probably wouldn't be able to kill him in 1 hit even if he got there. So instead, I'm just going to pop his Aegis Shield. Now, this should mean that he becomes priority target number 1 for the Plague Marine, which should allow Justicar Boars over here to clean up these lesser Poxwalkers without having to worry about a Plague Marine behind him. This is of course going to use up all 3 of his action points, which means that the only 2 that I will have remaining to do anything about the Plague Priest and the Bloom Spawn are Purgator Fool and Apothecary Harn, both of whom have just been hit by a grenade that drained their action points by 1, and have to move, otherwise they're going to get caught in that time bomb explosion. So with only 4 action points between the 2 of them, I don't see how I can get out of the time bomb blast area and interrupt that Plague Priest, which means I'm going to get a Warp Surge at the end of this turn. And that would be very bad. Unless I use the Gate of Infinity stratagem and teleport the entire squad to over here. Okay, that wasn't ideal, 2 of them are down below, but Purgator Fool is up here, and his melee attack also comes with its own knockback. So, there we go. I mean, it didn't really hurt the Plague Priest that much, but it stopped him channeling the Warp Surge. And the teleport placement wasn't actually that bad, because the 2 guys who don't have any action points left, the 2 Justicars, are the ones who were down below the platform and couldn't do anything anyway. Now, I'm not liking the look of this bloom spawn. I haven't seen it before. I don't really know what it does. But I can hit all of it with the Psychic Onslaught ability from Purgator Fool's Psy Cannon. Now, here's the bad news, and that's really going to come back to bite me in the arse, because he's out of action points and his gun is empty. So he needs to reload before he can do anything else with that Psy Cannon. Meanwhile, Apothecary Harm. I'm going to finish off, and I do get very lucky here because I get a crit, which allows me to stun the Plague Priest. So that's good. And because he's now stunned, I can execute him. Which is going to kill him, obviously, but it's also going to give everybody one extra action point. Now, that's not immediately useful for Balls and Iolanthus, because they're on the lower platform. There's not a lot they can do there with one action point, but Apothecary Harm can at least kill one of these pods. So, Purgator Fool, one extra action point, but his gun is empty. So while I'd love to hit that bloom spawn thing with another Psychic Onslaught, which would kill all of the pods and do some damage to whatever the hell that is in the middle, I can't, because his gun is empty, so I must expend his action point reloading. Iolanthus. Yeah, I'm going to have to go on to the chapter here, aren't I? So, there's 2 action points for Thule. I probably should have warp charged that to give him 3 action points and an extra point of willpower, but I do have the Quicksilver stratagem to give him a total of now 4 action points. Remember, if I warp charged that onto the chapter, it wouldn't have advanced the warp meter, because Iolanthus doesn't advance the warp meter when he uses his psychic abilities, and Thule would now have had 5 action points. However, it turns out that wouldn't have actually made too much of a difference. I've reloaded, and I'm using the Psychic Onslaught to hit the thing in the middle and kill all of the pods around it. Now, of course, I have to reload again, and now I can just shoot it, because I don't have to worry about any area of effect. I just shoot the one thing in the middle. And then I shoot it again, and now I'm completely out of action points. So even if I had Warp Charge Iolanthus as on of the chapter, Thule would have still had 1 action point left, but he would have still had an empty gun and would have had to reload. I think what I probably should have done here was to hell with the warp meter and used Justicar Balls as Honor the Chapter ability again on Purgator Fool or Apothecary Harm in order to kill that thing in this turn. The Plague Marine moves up and sets Overwatch. There's still another cultist over there as well. And he shoots at Apothecary Harm, but his armour takes it because he's in a Terminator suit. He now sets up an Overwatch, and he does have the range to cover everybody, which is incredibly bad news. And the Plague Priest in the middle is up to something because I didn't kill him. Okay, he died. That kind of works for me. But he's been replaced by, what the hell is that thing? He's ascended into something. A Plague-ridden? This thing has 100% resistances, takes 1 less range damage from every attack, does a psychic area of effect plague attack, and has 24 health. Well, shit. So that thing takes less damage from ranged attacks, and the only 2 that I have that are close enough to actually get in there and melee him, Thule and Han, are not my best melee attackers, and they're covered by Overwatch anyway. And my 2 best melee attackers are too far away to actually get in there and melee him, and are going to get hit by the Overwatch fire even if I were able to do that. This situation is what I believe is often referred to as suboptimal. Okay. Han. Maybe I can do something with him. Iolanthus. He's still got Honor the Chapter ability. Thule cannot move without getting hit, and he doesn't have bonus armor. He needs to reload anyway. Right. Yeah, I don't know why I'm looking at his stats. I can't see anything useful there. I'll tell you what I can do, though. Apothecary Harm is just going to have to take one for the team. First, we'll pop his Aegis Shield, because it is just a cultist with an auto. So, he now has enough armor to be able to get in there and take the Overwatch without actually taking any damage. That's removed the Overwatch, which is going to be good news for Purgator Fool. Meanwhile, Apothecary Harm can stab this thing, and oh my god, he's barely scratched it. What's it doing? Oh, I don't know what that was, but I'm sure I'm not going to like it. Right, Purgator Fool. Unfortunately, that thing's moved, so I now have to expend an action point moving Purgator Fool to where he can actually shoot it, then another one reloading, which means I'm only going to get one shot. And yes, I know it's taken less damage from ranged attacks, but, well, Purgator Fool's melee attacks are not particularly great. No point in buffing it with Psychic Onslaught, it's only one target, that's an area of effect attack. It's down to 17 health. Justicar Balls. Get up there and smack it with a Demon Hammer. Wow, it took 1 damage. That's, yeah. Oh, this is really, really bad. It is getting stunned, though. You see the number in the green skull over its nameplate. That tells you how many more attacks you have to hit it with in order to get it stunned. So, Iolanthus, can we do something about that, maybe? Let's hit it with the hammer hand attack. Now, that's a +1 stun. Is this going to be enough? Maybe should have gone for disabling its area of effect attack, but it has gotten the stun. Unfortunately, nobody has any remaining action points, so we can't execute it. So it's still alive, and it's going to recover from its stun at the beginning of its turn, which is now. Plague Marine hits Iolanthus with his bolter, but his armor takes it, and the thingy, which is so very nearly dead. Okay, Nurgle's dead. 4 enemies in the area gain mutations. Well, it could have been a lot worse. I would have expected him to use his area of effect attack to basically hit my entire squad. But did you see the mutation? The cultist over there who hits balls with his auto gun got 50% resistances, but the Plague Ridden got an auto resurrect. Here comes the Warp Surge. Okay, and they're gaining even more mutations. +2 hit points for the cultist. And attacks drained for the Plague Ridden. I don't know what that is, but I'll bet it's not good. Iolanthus. Please kill this. It's stunned again. Come on, let's get the execute. Where's the execute? No, don't disable Nurgle's gift. Execute it. Give everybody an extra action point. That's it. There we go. And I'm going to need that extra action point, because that thing's going to get back up again. Let's deal with this Plague. Strip his armor. I've got plenty of guys back here able to deal with the cultist. I mean, it does have 7 health now, but it's still just a cultist, and these are Marines in Terminator, so it is dead.
No match for the Emperor's
Balls.
chosen.
Can he actually? He can't actually shoot that Marine from here, but he can walk up to him and smack him in the face thanks to the extra action point that we got for executing the Plague Ridden. So that's nice.
Feel my wrath.
That auto-resurrect thing really worries me.
Or not.
Han, can you shoot that guy from here? You can, and that's going to kill him, so cool. But now what's going to happen? I mean, technically they're all dead. Huh. It didn't get back up again. I mean, I'm not sorry. Yeah. Happy with that. So that's the bloom spawn in this mission, is it? And I've got to kill another one. And there's another patrol between me and that. This is going to be all kinds of fun, isn't it? Well, it ain't going to kill itself. Let's get the guys moved up, I suppose.
What is your will?
Okay,
Take
Purgator Fool
position.
stuck right at the back there. Let's get him at least close to the rest of the squad. On the bright side, the warp meter is at 0%. So that's, you know, it's as good as it could be. Oh, and there's the other patrol. Okay, cultists. I'm seeing 1 grenadier. And the rest, auto guns. Maybe a heavy stubber amongst them. And they've split up. Alright. My turn. Iolanthus. Yeah, the positioning isn't great. That's some pretty effective Overwatch. I can put him into some good cover. And there is another seed carrier back there, but he looks like he's just out of range. No, he's in range, so the Servo Skull can go and grab his box of seed. Again, this does not cost you any action points.
I've pulled a seed.
I think just setting Overwatch is really the best thing I can do with Iolanthus here. Now, Purgator Fool. I can move him there and he will be in hard cover, but that will expend all of his action points, but he did kind of start off towards the rear of the squad. I think moving up this side is probably my best option. Get some flanking attacks going. The good news here is that this patrol got bounced without actually activating the bloom spawn over there as well. Ah, another patrol. Okay, not good. Apothecary Harn. I'm going to move him up here to support Iolanthus. Again, need to be careful I don't trigger that Overwatch and get him into at least half cover. Now, their turn. Oh, grenade. Ugh. -1 action point for Balls and Fool. That guy triggers Iolanthus' Overwatch. Hits him with a time bomb, which probably is also affecting Apothecary Harm. He takes hits, but he's in half cover. He only loses 1 point of armor. That guy reloads. Apothecary Harm takes no damage from that one. This is all pretty good, actually, although I'm not liking all of this Overwatch that these guys are setting up. There's plenty of them still to go. More shots at Apothecary Harn. Again, 0 damage taken. More Overwatch. I'm seeing a pattern developing here. Are there any of them left to act? Yep, one more. And again, Apothecary Harn draws all of the fire, takes no damage from it. And this guy's now setting Overwatch up over here on Balls and Thule. That is not good. That is a lot of very effective Overwatch. Right, Apothecary Harn. He doesn't have any grenades left. Let's see what Purgator Fool can do. For some reason, he doesn't have any grenades. I must have screwed up in his loadout because he does have a war gear slot especially dedicated for carrying grenades, and he gets to carry 3 of them. So I've screwed up there somewhere. Iolanthus can get over there without actually triggering any of the Overwatch. That's good. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Hammer Hand activated, gives me a crit. We'll go for the stun. And that has actually stunned him. So now we should get the execute. Except it doesn't give us the... There must be a bug. I feel cheated, because that would have given everybody 1 extra action point. Okay, Apothecary Harn can now get up to the next guy. 1 attack isn't going to kill him, but the second attack will, and that's removed 1 source of Overwatch. Unfortunately, it's this Overwatch that has proven to be the biggest problem. We're going to have to go and honour the chapter. The question is, on who? I think it's going to be Iolanthus, and I'm going to warp charge it. This will give him 3 action points and an extra point of willpower. So let's do this. It's raised the warp meter a bit, but at this point I'm not going to get a warp surge, so I don't really care. Now, I want that guy dead. And he's just outside of shooting range. So Balls can't actually soften him up for Iolanthus, but, well, Iolanthus doesn't really need it. And the warp charge on that Honour the Chapter was good, because at that point Iolanthus only actually had 1 willpower left. So he's now got 2. And with this kill, that should put him up to 3 willpower. So with Balls' 1 remaining action point, I can now move him up into half cover. And with Purgator Fool. Again, I can't really move him anywhere particularly useful. Well, I can at least run up to this guy and smack it. Which ain't going to kill him. It should kill him. He only has 2 hit points left. Ugh, it didn't though. Okay, that's kind of shit. Right, the time bomb goes off, but nobody's anywhere near it. And now Well, everybody gets to shoot. There goes the grenadier again. Actually, I prefer the grenadier to a cultist with an auto gun because the grenade doesn't actually do any damage. It just robs those affected by it of an action point each. This guy with a heavy stubber, yeah, suppressive fire. It's been a while since we've seen that. So, Iolanthus is suppressed. That could have been worse. This guy's worked his way around the back. He's probably going to take a pot shot and... Oh, he goes for Han. That's fine. He's got Terminator armor. Although he's probably going to take some... No, he doesn't shoot at him. He just does the Overwatch. Okay, we're good. We're all good. Great. Yeah, Thule took a couple of hits. Tis but a scratch. And Han is fine. The bloom rises to 70%. So Iolanthus is suppressed. What can Balls do? Again, these guys are putting down some remarkably effective Overwatch. I can't move through the suppressive fire, because that would hurt. I don't really want to waste his Honour the Chapter ability, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to need that for fighting the last bloom spawn. Yeah. If I move him up there, it'll be in hard cover and won't actually be able to target anybody. Oh. Yeah, it needs doing. This may come back to bite me in the arse. Apothecary Han, warped charge, Honour the Chapter. So 3 action points and a point of willpower. He didn't need the willpower, he was at maximum willpower anyway. But we're going to have to do the same thing we did earlier. Aegis Shield, so he can survive moving through the Overwatch. Killing this guy is probably not actually the best thing to do. But that just solves Apothecary Han's problem, which he negated anyway by using the Aegis Shield. I really should have moved him to eliminate one of the cultists who was either suppressing or laying down Overwatch on somebody else. And again, I stunned the guy and was not given the opportunity to execute him and recover action points for the whole squad. Although he is able to do something beneficial for the guy with a heavy stubber by hacking off the arm that was carrying the weapon that was suppressing Justicar Iolanthus. So he's not dead, but now he's pretty armless. I'm sorry. I will never make that joke again. Iolanthus does still have his Honour the Chapter ability, but he only has 3 willpower, and it's 2 willpower per activation, so if I use it now, I won't be able to use it in the fight with the Bloom Spawn when I'm really going to need it. And here's where I screw up again. Justicar Balls only has 1 action point left, and I cannot shoot that cultist from where he is, so I move him up to shoot, which expends his last action point, and then switches over to Purgator Thule, who's the one who takes the shot, which is not what I thought was going to happen. I thought Justicar Balls was going to take the shot, but he didn't have the action points, so it went to the next Marine, which was this guy, who was being pinned down by Overwatch from that guy. So he took damage there, which was less than ideal, but what you're going to do. Right, the only guy I have left now is Iolanthus, and he cannot reach that last cultist. Well, it's not the last cultist, there's another one up there next to the door with Apothecary Han, but this one can still actually shoot at people, so I'm going to use Honour the Chapter on Purgator. And I'm pretty sure this is going to come back to bite me in the arse, because it means Iolanthus now only has 1 willpower and cannot use Honour the Chapter again, because it costs 2. On the bright side, Thule should have no problems taking down this guy. He'll get to fire twice, which should be enough. And isn't, but it did stun him. Unfortunately, bad guys recover from stuns at the beginning of their turn, which is now. Okay, the cultist who no longer has the heavy stubber took a reaction strike from Apothecary Han, which did kill him. The guy that we failed to kill over here shoots Purgator Thule again. He is now pretty badly wounded and sets up Overwatch. And here's the Warp Surge. What are we going to get? And a Warp Rift has opened. Okay. I don't really see how that could have been much worse. Fortunately, I do at least have Apothecary Han around on this mission. So we're going to shoot this guy in the face which doesn't kill him and leaves him on 1 hit point, so we'll shoot him in the face again. So that's removed that source of Overwatch. We'll go ahead and reload. We need to get ready for the reinforcements coming through the warp gate. Let's finish off the guy to the rear first, though. In fact, we'll move everybody that we can up here, since we're gonna... I mean, there's plenty of cover here, and we're gonna want to stage from this point anyway. Apothecary Harm can finish this guy easily. I really should be trying to arrange it so that people like Justicar Iolanthus are getting the kills, because that's going to replenish their willpower. But we've got plenty of friends arriving from this side, so he's going to get the opportunity. I do need to get Apothecary Harm back over here to heal up Purgator Thule, though. He is pretty badly wounded. So I'm going to move him, because he will be the next one shot at if the reinforcements get the slightest chance to do it, because he's the one that's going to be easiest to kill. Let's put him in hard cover back there and see who comes through the warp gate. Yeah, it's not great, but it could have been a lot worse. It could have been Plague Marines. So, here they come. None of these guys have ranged attacks. So I do have that to be grateful for. And as soon as I get my turn, Apothecary Harn is going to heal Purgator Thule. Right, he is no longer in any danger of immediately dying. Iolanthus. You know what? Since nobody is likely to get attacked in the next turn anyway, let's just move everybody closer so that they can all cover each other.
As ordered.
Now, Thule, can you actually hit anybody from here? No. Let's reload. So we are actually ready when these guys come up. We'll set down Overwatch over here, because I can't really tell which way they're going to come, left or right. They're kind of in the middle. They could come either way. Iolanthus, also, Overwatch over here. And that's it. It's their turn. Alright, what's that fat bastard up to? The lesser poxwalkers are not really a threat. I mean, the Overwatch cuts them down. But that isn't complete. So, all of the cultists that I just killed are now coming back as lesser poxwalkers. And this guy's doing the same over here, right before he runs into the Overwatch. So the guy that just got cut down by Iolanthus' Overwatch now comes back. On the bright side, Iolanthus did just kill one of them with his Overwatch, so he now has 2 willpower again. He's about to kill another one. This is just what the Inquisitor ordered. Bonus willpower for my Justicars. Okay, that guy is just outside of shooting range. But I can at least walk up to him and maybe get a reaction strike off. Purgator Thule. You know what? I'm not going to kill this guy with Purgator Thule. I'm going to shoot this guy instead, because I really don't want... This guy does a corpse explosion when he dies. So I do not want that guy getting close. He can also resurrect the slain bodies of the dead as lesser poxwalkers. Come on, 2 hit points. Need to reload. Okay, I'm going to have to start worrying about Purgator Thule's safety again. But I really want that guy dead. You know what? Justicar balls can easily kill these fellas. That's not much of an issue. Smacks that one down. No immediate danger to Purgator Thule. Can I shoot this guy from here? No, he's not quite in range. 2 action points left. I can move to there. And I can shoot him from here. And that will kill him. And hopefully, with balls in the front there, that means that the other poxwalkers will go for him first. And he's wearing Terminator armor. And not all of them are going to survive this. Move the Poxwalker up. And 1 down. He's not going to kill the other one. Oh, nice. He's gotten the crit. +1 damage. And he's down. The last remaining Poxwalkers are really no significant threat. Not against Marines in Terminator armor. Bloom goes up to 90%. We are going to get another Warp Surge at the end of this turn. But these guys aren't going to live to see it. One down. And some more useful experience there for Apothecary Han, because he has been away for the best part of 2 months. And the other guys have kind of out-leveled him. He's only rank 3. Iolanthus is rank 5, I think. Thule is rank 4 or 5. Even the new boy, Justicar Balls, is at least rank 3. Anyway, 1 patrol and 1 bloom spawn to go. We're going to wait out the Warp Surge on this side of the gate before we bust our way in. What is the Warp Surge going to be? Grandfather's Curse. Your knights suffer -1 maximum willpower for the remainder of the mission. That's actually not too bad, because I think it's only Apothecary Han who's on maximum willpower anyway.
Unleash me.
And both of my Justicars, thanks to scoring easy kills on the weaklings that came through the warp gate, now have enough willpower to be able to use their Honor the Chapter abilities. So all that remains is to bust through this gate and then sort out whatever it is on the other side, at least one of which is going to be a bloom spawn. I just don't know what the patrol is going to be.
We are discovered.
Oh, yeah, we got +1 reinforcements earlier, didn't we? So there's... okay. Right, cultists with ranged weapons. Not great.
Permission to
I think there's a
engage,
Chaos
Commander.
Marine in there as well. Yep. And there's a seed carrier. Well, I'm definitely going to have enough Poxus seeds at the end of this mission. There's some hard cover there. But it is an explodey thing. So, yeah. Psychic Onslaught will hit both of them. We have just had a Warp Surge, so I don't need to worry too much about triggering the Warp meter. That's 1 down and 1 very, very unhappy. He is, of course, out of ammo. Right. Chaos Marine. You know what? We're going to Force Strike. It's extra damage. Yes, it's going to raise the Warp meter, but again, we've just had the Warp Surge, so it's not actually that important. And that's when I realised a couple of things. 1, a second Force Strike isn't going to kill him, so there's no point in using it. And 2, Balls did just have 2 willpower points, which meant that he would have been able to use the Honour of Chapter ability, but now I've spent one of those willpower points, he no longer can. Oh, great. I done fucked up, boys. We can finish off the Plague Marine with Apothecary Han. And yes, these 2 guys are now exposed, but they're 2 guys in Terminator armour. And in fact, Apothecary Han has 3 armour points on his Terminator armour. So let's go ahead and continue thinning out the opposition. I don't mind so much if these guys get shot at. They've got plenty of health and they're well armoured. Another willpower point for Iolanthus. He can now use the Honour Chapter ability. Enemy turn. Yep, Apothecary Han, who has the best armour, takes that without any damage, although they are now both covered by Overwatch. And the one that we let get away over here shoots at Balls. But again, Marine in Terminator armour. He can take it. This guy sets up Overwatch, and now we get to see what comes through the Warp Gate. The Plague Priest, who's busy transforming into a Plague-ridden. Slow and Flesh. It's given everything armour, I think. Oh, that's not good. Okay, Cultists and another Plague Priest. Actually, just the one Cultist and another Plague Priest. Bloom rises to 40%. This is fine. This is fine. Extractor Servo Skull. Let's get that seed out of that fella before anything bad happens to him. Thank you very much indeed, Extractor Servo Skull. Now I need to kill him so I can turn these 2 around to face the threat posed by the 2 reinforcements. Which means I'm going to have to go for a Force Strike. Iolanthus gets shot at, but again it's just a Cultist with an auto gun. He's a Marine in Terminator armour, this is fine. And he gets back the willpower point for the kill that he used to expend the Warp Strike. Now then, he can use his Honour the Chapter ability, so we're going to use that on Iolanthus. And that's all I can do because I've used both of my stratagems. And we're going to start beating the shit out of this guy, hopefully, before he can transform into a Plague-ridden. The problem is, This smelly bastard has 15 armor and 12 health, which effectively means he has 27 health. So, even with all of these attacks...
Taste my fury!
Oh, he does get a crit. You know what? I think we're going to disable his melee weapon. But even with all of these attacks, the only thing that Apothecary Harn can really do is strip away all of his armor. We do have Justicar balls ready to go, however. We're definitely going to be pumping up the maximum damage here. Yes, he gets shot at because he's in the Overwatch. Don't care, this thing needs to die. He's down to 6 health. Hit it again. Can't use the Force Strike, he's out of willpower, but doesn't need to because 2 more hits will kill it, and that is the mission.
That was the last of the wretched filth. Well done, Commander. Don't give up.
Thankfully,
now!
there were no more reinforcement waves, otherwise I would have had to wait for them to spawn in before completing the mission. So, hey, it's all good. Expecting big promotions for the boys here, with the possible exception of Iolanthus, because he was rank 5 anyway. We completed the glorious deed, kill 8 enemies with ranged weapons, for a grand total of 4 requisition points, and we came back from that mission with 7 Poxus seeds. I'm not in love with any of the requisition rewards available from this mission, so I'm just going to pass and save my requisition points. Now then, promotion time. And we have promotions for Purgator Thule, Apothecary Harn, and Justicar Balls. Purgator Thule's a bit of a no-brainer. We're going to give his, well, we're basically maxing out his war gear discipline, so we're giving his grenades +1 area of effect. It would probably help if I remembered to actually equip the grenades in his war gear loadout before going on the next mission. I did dither a bit about what to spend his remaining ability point on, but the problem that I'm having with Purgator Thule is limited ammunition for his heavy weapons, and in order to get there I'm going to have to go through this. So, this knight's ranged attacks now have +2 crit damage. That will allow me, the next time he gets promoted, to increase his ammunition capacity by 2. Now then, Apothecary Harn. An extra willpower point wouldn't hurt, I suppose. We're basically maxing out his battlefield healing ability, which is already pretty damn good. We could warp charge his heal to give his target an extra action point and an even bigger heal, but I don't really think it's necessary. And again, I dithered around a bit trying to figure out where to spend his last point, and I'm thinking the Servo Skull upgrades are going to be really good, which will allow him to heal at range and give him extra war gear slots and so on and so on. So we're going to have to unlock the warp charge ability anyway in order to get there. That just leaves us with Justicar Balls, and this is nice and simple. Extra war gear slot and the Hammerhand ability. But most importantly, we've come back from that successful mission with more than enough Poxus seeds, so that Inquisitor Waifu can stop busting our chops about bringing enough seeds back so she can actually start the source of the bloom research, and we can finally start to get the plot moving forward. And not only that, but it turns out we can actually make it to the second of the 3 systems currently contaminated by bloom spawn before it expires, and do something about that as well. All thanks to the fact that we attuned our prognosticars over here to extend the time limit. So that is what will be coming up in the next episode. In the meantime, I hope you're all having a fantastic weekend. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and as always, be pure, be vigilant, oh behave.